Welcome, 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 everybody. I am Coach Les, and I'm here with Mr. Yarwood, and we are on episode number 34, I believe. And we are about to talk today about what is work ethic and how does it apply to martial arts. Work ethic is defined as the dedication, discipline, and perseverance that a person applies to their responsibilities and goals. It involves qualities such as reliability, determination, accountability, and a strong commitment to self-improvement. A strong work ethic is essential in both martial arts and life, shaping an individual's success, character, and ability to overcome challenges. Sounds like a winner today, Mr. Yarwood. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Yeah. Work ethic. I mean, last week we talked about what grit and fortitude, right? Work ethic is a little bit different in that it's like it's your internal drive to do the things you know you're supposed to do. It's like determination, grit, motivation, everything all wrapped up into one. It's just something that's kind of underlying the whole time. Because sometimes what you do sucks, sometimes it's awesome and fun, but work ethic pushes you through no matter what it is that you're doing. It's part of discipline. It's part of a lot of everything that we do is kind of built in with work ethic. And either you like to work hard or, I don't know, I guess you don't. Not everybody has work ethic. Especially nowadays, it feels like everybody's work ethic is somebody else will do it, not me. So it kind of turns out that you rely on others' work ethic to get things done. I have a different viewpoint of that. My work ethic is go. I just go no matter what. Oftentimes things suck and you don't like them, but work ethic just keeps you going, doing the stuff you need to do. Even the little piddly things that you think don't mean much ultimately all add up and create the success that it is that you're looking for. And without work ethic, I don't think you're going to be successful.
Well, what do they say? What do they say here? Work ethic in martial arts, there are 4 primary things: consistency and discipline, perseverance through hardship, respect and responsibility, and self-improvement and growth. And I tell you what, our government has not helped us in this department. Regardless of your political affiliation, if we look at the U.S. government over the past decade or 2 decades, it has been one that has, well, when you look at these 4 points, it definitely has not found its way into these categories. And then that trickles down into the families. And if you look at families today, the majority of families are now in the process of leaving discipline, leaving all of this responsibility on the school shoulders. And that's the worst possible example. So what is great about coming in and working with martial arts is when the kids, young adults come in and discover what it is to have consistency and discipline, perseverance through hardship, respect and responsibility, self-improvement and growth. What suddenly shows up is a young adult.
Yep.
That instantly becomes a leader in their community, no matter what age, because it is lacking in society. So it's very easy for them to suddenly rise to the top, much like cream rises to the top.
Yep.
And then they demonstrate work ethic. And that work ethic in many ways is their commitment to training, their commitment to the game, their commitment to homework, their commitment to their parents, all because of what you've created in the tracking of their work ethic. Over to you.
Yep. I believe work ethic can be created and taught. The biggest way is by showing, by doing, by example. I'm like I said, I'm a big work ethic guy. I just go. I don't. Doesn't matter to me whether it's hard or easy. Actually, matter of fact, the harder something is, I think the more I enjoy it, because the results, are so much more rewarding when you do something really hard and you complete it. And it's that reward on the other side that makes me want to do even more, right? And I try harder things and more challenging things. And I think that when you do that with students, you push them beyond what they think they can do. They start to realize that, hey, I can do more than I think. They start to want to do more. They start to want to be challenged more. And then that can turn into that desire to want to just keep going. And it's easier to train somebody who wants to keep going versus someone who has no desire to keep going. And it's something that it just, I think little by little, you can start to instill in students when they start to see. I mean, me personally, I feel that I represent everything that Yards Martial Arts stands for. And I have to be the example of everything that I teach, everything that we talk about, everything that we proclaim, all that stuff. And if I'm not doing what I'm supposed to do, then in my head, in my heart, I don't feel that I can expect other people to do it. So by me doing all those things and actually doing more than than probably people expect me to do, they see that, and then there becomes this part where I think part of it is they don't want to disappoint me, because they're like, okay, Mr. Yarwood's, he's an old man and he's doing all that work. He's pushing harder than all of us. I don't have any excuses not to. I don't want to disappoint him. I don't want him to think that I'm weak or whatever. And they start to develop that desire to want to. It starts, I think, from that external thing, but it becomes internal as they go. Then it becomes they don't want to upset themselves. They don't want to disappoint themselves because they quit on themselves, or they didn't do something that they know they could do if they only, decided that they were going to do it. So I think, unlike grit and fortitude, I think work ethic can be trained. It might take some time, but I think it's there as long as I'm personally setting the example for them.
And I think that's the other issue that we have today out in society, is the workforce out there. The big companies are so afraid of human resources retribution that they allow their employees to run rampant with discipline issues, consistency issues, respect and responsibility. There's, in some cases, there's no self-improvement. There's take me as I am. This is who I am. And if you don't, then you're discriminating against me. And I look at that and I hear that and I think, wait a minute. Whatever happened to leveling up? Whatever happened to improving oneself? 1, to get a promotion, 2, to get a raise. Now it's gotten so bad that if employees go and file complaints if they don't get a raise every year.
Yeah, I think they have that expectation that they're going to get it regardless. All they got to do is show up. And they don't have to show up on time. They just have to show up.
Yep. And
you automatically are eligible for a raise or for a promotion or both, or more vacation time or more leave time or whatever it is. Like where's the earned part of that? How did you earn it? You just showing up doesn't earn you anything.
And I think that with martial arts, one of the things that you start to realize, because it's so tangible in the world of martial arts, it's black and white. There is no gray area. You can either perform and do the form and do the weapon, do the sparring, or you can't. And if you can't, then you don't get a medal.
Yep. You don't get your next belt.
You just don't get your next belt. And if you want it, then there's a pathway, and there's a set of rules and a form and sparring results that you have to produce to move forward.
Yep.
And in today's corporate world, a lot of times it's gotten to the point that, oh my gosh, I'm afraid, the company is afraid of being in a lawsuit for discrimination if they don't promote this person. It's much like in school, right? I just heard the other day of this kid that is in college that is suing his high school because he was graduated and he can't read.
Yeah, I heard about that.
and here he is suddenly in college going, well, I'm here, but I can't do anything because I can't read. And now he's suing the high school and the teachers for that.
He should sue the college too, because the college allowed him in.
I don't think his lawyers figured that one out yet. That's coming if they lose.
That's bad. It's bad enough that he got graduated, but then he got accepted into a college.
And when I look at what is work ethic and how does it apply to life, there's one, how in today's world, with all of the electronic toys that are poised at us, how do you allow a family member to go all the way through to that point? 12 years. It's not like 1 or 2. It's 12 years of schooling to not learn how to read.
Yep. That's scary.
I'm sorry to those parents that are listening to this and they have this conversation. Oh, you don't understand the hardships of my life. You don't understand what it takes. It's like, no, I think in the mirror, you have to be responsible for, I don't think you understand what it takes to be responsible for cutting off TV, having a bedtime, having a work ethic, creating chores for your kids so that they understand and they learn respect and responsibility.
And how did the parents not know that the kid couldn't read? I mean, are they that not disengaged from their child that they had no idea he could read? Or they just allowed it because, oh, it's my kid, he's great, he's the best, he's awesome, he's wonderful, he's smart, he doesn't need to know how to read, he'll be fine. Is that it? I mean, who knows, right? There's so many things that were missed to get to that point with the parents, with the school, with anybody who is engaged with this kid. They missed everything, and it's not his fault. He was let down. He didn't. He wasn't taught the things he was supposed to be taught. Kids don't know that they're supposed to. They don't know things. That's what parents are for. That's what teachers are for. That's what mentors are for, to help you learn the things you don't know. And if he got that far without the most basic of everything is learning how to read, that's not his fault.
When I hear things like politicians sitting in a big room and making decisions for the population. Most recently, yesterday, I heard that the age of consent is no longer 18. The age of consent is 16 years old. And I look at these things and I go, where's the ethics in that? What is that? If we're not able to produce graduates, success in career and education, if we're not able to do that effectively, how can we say that you're going to be old enough to discriminate against a good relationship or a bad relationship at 16 versus 18 years old? I mean, I look at car rental companies are viewed and ruled by insurance companies. And if car rental companies and insurance companies won't rent a car to somebody under 25, there has to be a reason.
Yep.
And if that's the case, and we're looking at that work ethic and the integrity that comes along with all of that and the personal responsibility, here in the notes for today's topic, it says work ethic isn't just about working hard. It's about doing the right thing even when no one is watching. In both life and martial arts, integrity and accountability define true character. At 16 years old, are you able to do that?
To a certain level, I think yes, but to the level that puts you in a situation where you're expected to make decisions that are adult decisions, where you physically aren't even an adult yet, but you're making decisions that could literally affect the rest of your life. It's a failure of those who think that they know best. It hurts people. It hurts those kids. It hurts the families that are involved in that. It hurts everybody. But it's their desire for it's so odd because when you look at that, for instance, versus the age that you can consume alcohol, the age that you can go and fight for your country. I mean, they're all over the board with it. So some is 16, some is 18, some is 21, car thing 25. I mean, it's so, depending on how they're looking at something, they determine, well, they're old enough to do this, but they're not old enough to do that. So it's like, well, how can you say that somebody is old enough, literally at 16, to legally have a family? Because that's essentially what they're saying, the age of consent, right? So you're creating a situation for this child. They have no idea what's going on. They don't. 16 years old, they're clueless, right? And then they can get taken advantage of by somebody who's predatory and create all kinds of issues for them, right? But you can, when it comes to work ethic, I think it can be learned 5-6 years old. It's not necessarily, they don't necessarily understand what they're doing, right? But kids who learn, like we teach the parents to have the kids do their chores without being told to do them, right? At first, I'm sure it's a challenge for the parents to get the kids to clean their room, right? But eventually, with consistency and the parents being there and helping that child to understand that this is what they're supposed to do, and they start to give them some reward for doing those things, the kids start to figure it out. Then they realize there's so many things that come from good work ethic that are positive, that it's rewarding to do the things you're supposed to do. versus fighting with people to do things or allowing other people to get things done and relying on other people to take your personal responsibility and then not taking responsibility for issues when something goes wrong. There's nothing there. There's no accountability for anything if you don't have work ethic. If you have work ethic, you take responsibility for everything you're involved in. You know, it's not necessarily your fault, but if you own up to things that you had some kind of say in, that's part of work ethic. Say, hey, you know what? I was supposed to clean my room. You know, I forgot. I got busy. I'm sorry. That's my bad. I'll go take care of it right now. Then they learn, all right, I need to take care of my room, or consequences of this are going to happen. Eventually, they don't. If the consequences aren't the issue anymore, they just feel if I don't do something I know I'm supposed to do, I get like this internal like, oh man, I got to get that done. I got to get that. It eats at me, right? So from going from learning responsibility and work ethic to actually having it, it's a transition, but you start to realize that it's something that drives you to do the things that you know you're supposed to do and don't worry about whether somebody tells you to or not. You see something that may not be your responsibility, but because of the work ethic and the way you've been brought up and trained, you go take care of it. You know, I think the example could be carts in the Walmart parking lot. Somebody just leaves their cart right by the curb and doesn't bring it back to the cart rack, right? You see it there, you just grab it and go bring it back. It's not that hard, but it's an accountability thing. It's like, if I don't do it, who's going to do it? So and then people see that and they go, oh man, and I think it resonates like inside their brain that, oh man, there's things that they know that they should be doing too, right? It can have that ripple effect on people.
Amen. I love that ripple.
Yeah, and it's not why you do it. It's not to send a message to other people. It's just because that's who you are. That's how you are. But it does have that effect on others because they're like, man, now they start seeing carts everywhere, or they see trash on the ground that needs to get picked up, or whatever it is. They just start doing it, and other people see it, and then that passes on to them, and then to them, and then to them, and hopefully it reaches everybody, and everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. And suddenly things are great. It's very simple.
It's to me, there's so much frustration around this because I think we're crippling our next generation. And when it comes to achieving long-term goals, they haven't even accomplished short-term ones to even understand what it is to have a long-term goal.
Yep.
So as we look at this and as we talk about it, one of the things that we're really committed to on this show is that the people that come and listen to this at some point start to hear, not that we're bashing anybody, putting anybody down, saying what they're doing is, the worst thing since, the nuclear bomb. No, it's an opportunity to see how can we be responsible for the impact of each of us on the world every single day.
There's a podcast that I listen to. His name is Andy Frisella. And the saying he has that really resonates with me and really fits in with this. He says, personal excellence is the ultimate rebellion. He said, you take care of your health, you take care of your wealth, you take care of yourself, your family. You start with you. And if everybody starts with themselves and then that sends a message to somebody else who takes care of themselves, eventually everybody's doing the things that they're supposed to do and nobody's relying on anybody else. We start to end up helping each other because of the waves we create from that. So it starts internally. It starts with yourself, having the work ethic for getting up and training every day, for eating properly, for going going to work and getting your job done, and then doing extra at work to help other people, stepping out and putting that card away, all these little things right throughout your day that can add up to so much, sends a message to the people around you, right? If you start training and eating right, how does that affect your kids when they see you do that, right? They say, well, hey, Dad, I see you're eating whatever. Can I try that? And then you see he's training. Hey, you want to come train with me? Let's go have some fun, right? Go and throw football around, or go for a bike ride with your kid or your family. Start to extend that out, and you have that little change within your own personal nucleus extends, and it's amazing how powerful that can be.
So one of the things that I want to share about here as we conclude for today is work ethic is the foundation of success. It really is. You can hear that in some of the things that we both shared. And it's the foundation of success in both martial arts and in life. It fosters discipline, resilience, and responsibility, shaping individuals into strong, determined, and honorable people. Whether on the mat or in everyday life, a strong work ethic paves the way for achievement, growth, and excellence. And it gives you a pathway that is clearly black and white to walk along.
Yep.
And that's my challenge to you this week. My challenge to you to have fun with and move forward with. And that is, how can I level up my work ethic? And where can I? Who do I have to be in communication with to create a pattern? And so with that, Mr. Yarwood, is there anything else you'd like to share before we rock them and sock them and send them on their way?
I think work ethic is the foundation of all the other things we're trying to do when it comes to discipline and whatnot. If you don't have work ethic, you don't have discipline. If you don't have work ethic, you don't have integrity. If you don't have work ethic, you don't have all these things that we talk about every week. Because without it, you're just kind of going along to get along. You're not doing the things you know you're supposed to be doing. All you have to do is make that decision. Oh, hey, I'm going to go take care of this. I'm going to go do that. You have your list. Get it done. Don't put it off. We talked about a couple weeks ago, we talked about procrastination. That's poor work ethic. That's poor discipline. I mean, it applies to everything that we do. And if you have a strong work ethic, all those other things go along with it.
Yeah, I look at keeping track of things, time management, all of these things are tools and maybe tools. But until you have the base, foundation of integrity, putting anything else on top of it is going to crush it.
Mm-hmm.
So with that, I look forward to next week. Thank you very much, Mr. Yarwood. Thank you for your input. Thank you for your commitment to teens and to supporting many, many of the parents and kids in Minneapolis and St. Paul.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You bet. Have a good night.
See you guys on the mats.